Hey, good evening, USA, Canada, worldwide, Long Island, the five spots of Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and Queens. I'm your man, G Money Stacks, aka the Gregonator, YouTuber, creator, host with the most, the unstoppable independent podcaster, and rookie podcaster of Queens, New York. And you're rocking with, once again, with the 161st episode of Off the Meat Rack Chainz New York podcast. 161, folks. We made it, man. Um, Live and direct from StreamYard, YouTube, and alongside of myself is the Instagram live feed of the podcast show page on Instagram. Make sure you turn on the notifications for more updates, and of course, when the episodes are going to be dropping, and the episodes will be dropping Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. All right. So so it's the same schedule. So there you go, right there. And if you're new to the channel and you missed any previous episodes whatsoever, don't worry. All you need to do is hit that play button on the YouTube channel page, G Money Stacks 555, with all the New York podcast episodes already posted. Grab that subscribe button, tap that noti bell, so you can be reminded when the show and time is going to be on the air. And of course, leave a like and a comment. And of course, I will go over the audio streaming platforms on the go at the end of the show. Now, let's get into a little thing that I like to call mental health check-in. As always, I like to use mental health check-in as a warm-up. It's just to tell you folks out there how I'm feeling mentally, physically, and spiritually, as well as yourselves out there. Now, how I'm feeling mentally, physically, and spiritually, you ask. I'm actually overall, I'm actually doing all right so far. I'm actually excited because we made it to 161 episodes so far, man. It's like, where did the time go? It's like this year is about to be like the second anniversary of this New York podcast right here, and I'm like, man. And 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 you know what though, man, I'm just going to continue creating content for you folks out there. And I had an epiphany yesterday from what certain individuals are saying though. Um Online and stuff. So I figured I'd just, try to pass it on to you folks out there are, you know, who are basically interested in whatever career field you're into. Don't try too hard to like, be a people pleaser. I had to learn that the hard way. And sometimes being a people pleaser, as far as your views, your your listens and stuff like that, that's all that is all that is cool. But um, you you want to be, you know, recognized for all the hard work you actually did creating content on a weekly basis. And yes, sometimes I take breaks too. And it's okay to take breaks, but not too long so you don't go cold turkey, and you want to actually continue, creating content for, relevance, you know what I'm saying? And that's exactly what I'm going to do. So there you go, right there. A little quick rundown of how I'm doing mentally, physically, and spiritually. I hope you folks out there are doing all right on your work week and stuff. Um, and of course, I'm pretty sure everybody's excited about the 4th of July weekend. Of course, I got y'all with the places for you Californians and the New Yorkers out there, because I couldn't get to the rest of the places yesterday because how late it was. So I'm gonna continue the rest of it today. So there you go, right there. Um so yeah, there you go, right there. Um all right. So now that I got that out the way, let's get into a little thing that I like to call the New York Mass Transit Files, and we have a slashing in the C train today. So hold on. Let me cue up the sound effect real quick. All right. All right, here we go. Let's get this show cracking. All right. All right, what we have here today is of course, obviously it's not just one incident, but two incidents that happened. So two incidents occurred in the neighborhood on Sunday night, according to the NYPD. A hardware store on 90th Street and Amsterdam Avenue, which is where Aquarius True Value Hardware is located, was burglarized around 10:15 p.m. Police said the the suspect burglar was apprehended and an arrest was made. A man traveling on a northbound C train was slashed while the train at 81st Street and Central Park West Station. He is expected to survive. The suspect, a male teenager in a black hoodie, fled. Hmm. What is wrong with people, man? What's wrong with people? The incident at Aquarius Hardware was recategorized as a break-in, according to police. A 41-year-old man from Queens broke the store's window, but was observed by a witness walking his dog, who called 911. The perp was arrested, charged with criminal mischief, and given a desk appearance ticket. He was released at 3:10 a.m. You gotta do better than that, man. You gotta do better than that, man. Seriously, you got an idiot who broke into your store and you release him at 3:10 in the morning. Really, he committed a fucking crime, man. Are you fucking kidding me? That right there is just nuts, right there. The incident on the subway was unprovoked. No words were exchanged. A police spokesman said the alleged attacker came from behind and hit a 22-year-old man in the back with an unidentified object, causing a minor laceration. The victim was treated by EMS. The suspect was described as a teen with a dark complexion, wearing a black hoodie and black pants. And of course, around 11:05 a.m. in the morning, police now report that the two men on the C train had a verbal altercation before the suspect took out a small knife and slashed the victim's back. The incident took place at 11:24 p.m. The suspect fled on foot from the 81st Street and Central Park West Station. Oh my gosh. This is crazy, man. This is crazy, man. This is some crazy ass shit, man. Nigga, we're not voting no fucking Republican, man. Get out of here with that bullshit, man. We're not voting no fucking Republican, man. Get the fuck out of here. Anyways, man. All right, some more transit stuff to talk about here is um anyway, so Long Island Railroad commuters will get a big boost in train service once the MTA opens a new long-awaited terminal below Grand Central at the end of the year. According to the new schedules, the, the transit agency released Thursday, June 2nd. The draft timetables by Metropolitan Transportation Authority are slated to come into effect once the new station, recently renamed from East Side Access to Grand Central Madison by Governor Kathy Hochul, opens for service in December. Give me a second here. Yeah. Yeah. The proposed schedule show a detailed breakdown of planned changes for the LIRR, which officials said will be largest growth in service in the 188-year-old railroad's history. End quote. It is no exaggeration to say that there is no railroad or public transportation system in America that is getting bigger service increases than the LIRR will be getting in a few. Hold on a second. Hold on. A few. I don't know what happened here. A few. Yeah. Yeah. A few. Wait a minute here. Wait a minute here. Yeah, a few months, a few short months. Said Catherine Rinaldi, interim president of the LIRR and president of Metro North Railroad, in a statement June 2nd. The MTA plans to increase weekday service by 41%, adding 274 trains to a total of 939 daily, Monday through Friday. Morning rush service from Long Island to Manhattan will grow by 58% to 120 trains from current 76. Afternoon peak will go up by 62% from 98 to 158. Penn Station will lose 10 trains in the morning, but get 3 more in the afternoon. Frequency between Jamaica, Queens, and Manhattan is increasing to levels of service comparable to some subway lines, with trains running every 12 minutes during the morning peak and every 20 minutes during off-peak hours. Overall, Brooklyn LIRR service, which makes up most of that section, will go up 28%. The MTA's $5 flat fare tickets on its 2 commuter railroads for trips within city limits. The city ticket for both systems during off-peak hours and the Atlantic ticket for the LIRR in Brooklyn and Queens at all times have soared in popularity amid a recent agency push for expanded discounts on public transit. The reverse commute will also get more trips, with the LIRR adding 53 trains during rush hours heading out of the city and onto Long Island, a 65% bump. The new $11.13 billion train haul underneath Grand Central Terminal will have 8 new tracks, which, along with added capacity the MTA is building out on Long Island, allowed for the agency to lift the cap on train service, Rinaldi said. Constraints that have long put a ceiling on how much service the LIRR can operate are falling away as we bring online two long-awaited mega projects. The opening of LIRR service to Grand Central Madison and LIRR mainline third track, she said. The project deep below Manhattan's east side took more than 2 decades to complete, and officials said it will shave, about 40 minutes off commutes round trip between Long Island and the Big Apple. Of course, the LIRR hold 3 virtual information sessions. Of course, it already started June 23rd, of course, followed by a virtual public feedback session on July 13th. For more information, visit the project's website at new.mta.info/Grand Central Madison. There you go, right there. Now up next is of course Mayor Adams. um, Mayor Eric Adams and transit officials announced a slate of improvements for the city's buses on June 16th, following a closed door session with leaders from the Metropolitan Transportation Authority and the Department of Transportation. After the Mayor Adams administration met with honchos from the MTA at City Hall for his first so-called transit improvement summit Thursday afternoon. His zona reviewed the city and state's next upgrades for the Big Apple's nearly 1.5 million, 1.5 million daily bus riders. Um, Together with the MTA, we are delivering the efficient, reliable bus network and transit system all New Yorkers and visitors to our great city deserve, and we will work closely with communities every step of the way to take these much needed bold steps together, Adams said in a statement. The mayor confirmed the city will add 150 miles of new bus lanes and busways to the city's streets over the next 4 years, as the city is required to do by law under the New York City Streets Plan mandated by the City Council in 2019. The first 20 miles of red paint rolling out this year will serve a total daily ridership of about 327,000 strap hangers and include the following stretches of road. Fordham Road and 207th Street between 10th Avenue and White Plains Road in Manhattan and the Bronx, 3.0 miles. Gun Hill Road between Bainbridge Avenue and Bartow Avenue in the Bronx, 3.8 miles. University Avenue between Kingsbridge Road and Washington Bridge in the Bronx, 3.4 miles. Um, Uni- um, Westchester Avenue at Pelham Bay Park Station in the Bronx, 0.1 miles. First Avenue between 61st Avenue, no, 61st Street and 69th Street in Manhattan, 0.9 miles. Avenues A and D, various segments in Manhattan, 1.0 mile. 21st Street between the RFK Bridge and the Queensboro Bridge in Queens, 3.4 miles. Northern Boulevard between Broadway and 114th Street in Queens, 5.4 miles. The city will also make the busway permanent on Main Street in Flushing, Queens, which former Mayor Bill de Blasio launched in January 2021 and has since increased bus speeds for 155,000 daily commuters by up to 50%, according to the mayor's office. The city and the MTA will immediately start planning for the next round of 5 bus priority projects at the following thoroughfares, though it is not clear if these will be bus lanes or busways, the latter of which are more restrictive to car traffic. Of course, Tremont Avenue in the Bronx, Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn, Livingston Street in Brooklyn, Northern Broadway in Manhattan, and Second Avenue in Manhattan. New Yorkers deserve a world-class transit system, and both the MTA and city leadership are committed to working together to bring real, tangible improvements for our riders, said MTA chairperson and CEO Jano Lieber in a statement. This is a new era of city MTA collaboration that will speed up buses, make the subway safer and more reliable, and prioritize equity and accessibility in mass transit. Remains to be seen. The city has jurisdiction over the city, over the streets, while the state-controlled MTA runs the buses, um, subways, the 2 suburban commuter railroads, the Metro North and Long Island Railroad, and 7 bridges and 2 tunnels in the 5 boroughs. The MTA plans to finally release its borough-wide redesign of the Brooklyn bus network by the end of the year to modernize the ancient routes that, in some cases, date back to the days of trolleys. The agency's overall overhaul of the Bronx bus routes takes effect on June 26th, already passed already, and transit officials unveil a new draft plan for Queens in March. MTA committed to spending $200 million to expand subway countdown clocks, improve public announcement systems, and add LCD signage to 71 subway stations covering the following areas. And the following areas include Tremont and Kingsbridge in the Bronx, Sunset Park, Brighton Beach, and East New York and Brooklyn, Midtown and Lower Manhattan, Jamaica, and the Rockaways in Queens. To catch scofflaw drivers blocking bus lanes, DOT will install 50 more stationary cameras on the streets, while the MTA plans to double its onboard enforcement cameras from 123 buses to 300 by the end of the year, covering 16 routes. The Transportation Department plans to give buses signal priority at 750 intersections next year. MTA and DOT pledge to prioritize bike, pedestrian, and micromobility access to transit by adding bicycle parking and micromobility share systems near subway stations and major bus stops. The city and state partnership will also focus on improvements to accessibility, stormwater resiliency, better connecting development planning to infrastructure, and collaborating on fair initiatives such as the low income 50% discount fares for subways and buses, and flat fare trips for Metro North and the LIRR like City Ticket and the larger proposed Freedom Ticket. And let's see what these people had to say here. Um, so 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 this person says, please create a 24/7 freedom ticket for LIRR and Metro North already. It's ridiculous that some parts of the city are treated as if we're a different mun, mun, muni, municipality. Wow. All right, so we need reasonably priced trains that run frequently if we ever plan to get New Yorkers out of their cars. That's not going to be easy, man. I tell you that much. And another person says there's one more transportation mode that is owned by Metropolitan Transportation Authority that is forgotten in the first paragraph, which is Staten Island Railway. Okay. Um, let's see. Let me see here. Let me see what else can we talk about here, man. I think that's it for transit news. Um, that's it for transit news and stuff. Um, yeah. All right, let's get to chatting on the jazz right here, man. All right. So let's see. So because let me see. I don't know what happened here. Hold on a minute here, folks. Okay. Okay. All right. We got some terrible stories to talk about here. Um, let's see. And but first I wanna actually I want to get into some things. I wanted to get into some things that kind of makes us vulnerable. So the title of the episode is vulnerabilities, and I want to actually get a better understanding of what makes us vulnerable. Um, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, here we go. So wait a minute here. Um, okay. So let me I don't know what happened here. Okay, complexity. The concept originated from the social sciences in response to the pure hazard oriented perception of disaster risk. Blah blah. Anyway, let me just get to I want to get to the thing. Technocratic or behavioral paradigm. The first approaches to risk were the ones that assimilated it to hazard, focused mainly on it, carried out especially by professionals of the natural sciences. According to Blakey et al., 1994, until the emergence of the idea of vulnerability to explain disasters, there was a range of prevailing views, none of which really dealt with the issue of how society creates the conditions in which people face hazards differently. The first approach was unapologetically naturalist, in which all blame was apportioned to the violent forces of nature. Governments and individuals rely on upon physical protection against the hazards. Physical vulnerability or structural paradigm. The concept of vulnerability entered the risk scene. Protection was defined not only according to the physical protection system built, but also according to the people's behavior. This inclusion of people's behavior led to the design and use of early warning systems and educational programs about hazards and how to protect against them. This paradigm lasted for a couple of decades and was used rather, during the Yokohama strategy and plan of action for a safer world, where all the efforts were aimed toward increasing our scientific knowledge about the causes of and consequences of natural hazards and facilitate its wider application to reducing vulnerability of disaster-prone communities. This perspective included overall development, attacking root causes, and capacity building. Capacity paradigm. Um, A new understanding of the complex interaction between nature and society has emerged, and as such, a new complex approach to understanding risk has to be undertaken. Hold on 1 second. Hold on a minute. Move to Zik. Shouts to you for joining the live stream. Um, yeah. Um, yes. Where was I? Okay, so all right, a new complex paradigm, a new understanding of the complex interaction between nature and society has emerged, and as such, a new complex approach to understanding risk has to be undertaken. Vulnerability is not only about groups or individuals, but it is also embedded in complex and social relations and processes. Okay, definitions of vulnerability. Multiple definitions and different conceptual frameworks of vulnerability exist because several distinct groups have different views of vulnerability. Academic staff from different disciplines, disaster management agencies, development corporations, climate change organizations, etc. An overview is given on the website of the Prevention Consortium and in the book of vulnerability edited by Berkman. Several definitions are given below. Okay. Um, let's see. the intrinsic and dynamic feature of an element at risk that determines the expected damage harm resulting from a given hazardous event and is often even affected by the harmful event itself. Vulnerability changes continuously over time and is driven by physical, social, economic, and environmental factors. The potential to suffer harm or loss related to the capacity to anticipate a hazard, cope with it, resist it, and recover from its impact. Both vulnerability and antithesis, resilience, are determined by physical, environmental, social, economic, political, cultural, and institutional factors. Um, Vulnerability is related to the characteristics and circumstances of a community or system. These characteristics and circumstances make community or system susceptible to hazard and cause loss. There are many aspects of vulnerability arising from various physical, social, economic, and environmental factors. Examples may include poor design and construction of buildings, inadequate protection of assets, lack of public information and awareness, limited official recognition of risk and preparedness measures, and disregard for wise environmental management. Okay, so okay. Vulnerability equals exposure plus resistance plus resilience. With exposure at risk property and population, resistance measures taken to prevent, avoid, or reduce resilience loss. Hold on. Reduce loss, excuse me. Resilience ability to recover prior state or achieve desired post disaster state. Coping capacity, the ability of people, organizations, and systems using available skills and resources to face and manage adverse conditions, emergencies, or disasters. The capacity to cope requires continuing awareness, resources, and good management, both in normal times as well as during crisis or adverse conditions. Coping capacities contribute to the reduction of disaster risk. Resilience is the ability of resistance, absorption, adaptation, and recovery of a system from the effects of hazard, including preserving and restoring the basic structures and functions. This depends on the necessary resources and organizing capability for the community before and after a destructive event. Building disaster resilience can help community to be better prepared to the disasters and recovery fast after the disasters. What is common from the definitions is that vulnerability is multidimensional. Okay. So of course, obviously physical, social, economic, um, environmental, institutional, and human factors define vulnerability. Of course, um, dynamic vulnerability changes over time. Scale dependent vulnerability can be expressed at different scales from human to household to community to country resolution. Site specific, each location might need its own approach, and resilience is related to different phases before and after a disruptive event, including the preparation before disasters, um, impact of disasters and recovery after disasters, and long time impact of disasters. One of the relationships between vulnerability and resilience will be discussed below in paragraph framework of vulnerability. Of course, the different types of vulnerability. Of course, you can the table types. The different types of vulnerability. In the table below, four different types of vulnerability have been identified: human, social, physical, economic, and environmental, and their associated direct and indirect losses. The table gives examples of types of losses. The ones indicated in red are those that are most frequently evaluated. Okay, so we go to human and social. So it includes fatalities, injuries, loss of income or employment, homelessness, um, indirect losses, diseases, permanent disability, physical impact, loss of a social cohesion due to disruption of community, political unrest. Physical includes structural damage or collapse to buildings, non-structural damage, and damage to contents. Structural damage, infrastructure, progressive deterioration of damaged buildings and infrastructure which are not repaired. Economic includes interruption of business due to damage to buildings and infrastructure, loss of productive workforce through fatalities, injuries, and relief efforts. Capital cost of response and relief, economic losses due to short term disruption of activities. Um, yes. Yeah, activities. Hold on. Wait. Yeah, activities. Yeah. Long-term economic losses, insurance losses, weakening the insurance market, less investments, capital cost of repairs, reduction to tourism, cultural, environmental, SETI, sediment, sedimentation, pollution, endangered species, destruction of ecological zones, um, destruction of cultural heritage, loss of biodiversity, loss of cultural diversity. Not sure what biodiversity is, but I'll look that up in a sec. Let's see. Yes. So according to different types of losses, the vulnerability can be defined as physical vulnerability, economic vulnerability, social vulnerability, and environmental vulnerability. Physical vulnerability, meaning the potential for physical impact on the physical environment, which it can be expressed as elements at risk. The degree of loss to a given air or set of air resulting from the occurrence of a natural phenomenon of a given magnitude and expressed on a scale from um, from 0 to 1. Economic vulnerability, the potential impacts of hazards on economic assets and processes. Of course, businesses interruption, secondary effects such as increased poverty and job loss, vulnerability, different economic sectors, social vulnerability, the potential impacts of events on groups such as the poor, single parent, households, pregnant or lactating women, the handicapped, children, and the elderly. Consider public awareness of risk, ability of groups to self cope with catastrophes, and the status of institutional structures designed to help them cope. Environmental vulnerability, the potential impacts of events on the environment. Um, and flora, fauna, ecosystems, and biodiversity. I'll look that up in a second before I get to the terrible stuff. Conceptual framework of vulnerability, of course. Yes, here we go. Let me see. I'm not. You know what? I'm not gonna really read all this. Wait a second, man. So let me see. Okay, so let me just read this actually. So this is crazy. This is interesting actually. Um all right. Pelling model. In the framework of for vulnerability proposed by Pelling 2003, human vulnerability is defined by exposure, resistance, and Resilience. Exposure is related to the location of characteristics of the hazard. Resistance is related to the economical, psychological, and physical health, as well as the capacity of individuals or communities to withstand the impact of the event, and is related with livelihoods. Resilience is defined as the ability to cope with or adapt to the hazard stress through preparedness and spontaneous adaptations once the event is manifested itself. So, wait a minute, man. Wait a minute. Okay. So, this is, oh my goodness. Okay. So, all right, I'm gonna actually look at this chart here. So the first chart says human ecology perspective, entitlement theory, the external side of vulnerability, which is exposure, political, economy approaches, the double structure of vulnerability, crisis, and conflict theory. Action theory approaches, coping, the internal side of vulnerability, and models of access to access. Okay. Let's see. Another chart. Environmental risk or disaster event. Human vulnerability. You have natural hazard, exposure, resistance, resilience, magnitude, frequency, location, characteristics, livelihood, health, adjustments, and preparation. So Figure 4 presents a framework for vulnerability assessment that was developed under the EU FP7 MOVE project. The MOVE generic concept of vulnerability includes different components and is set within a holistic framework of risk assessment, governance, and management. The MOVE conceptual framework presented in addresses vulnerability and risk to natural hazards from a holistic and multidimensional point of view. The framework illustrates two concepts. Um, One, risk is the result of the exposure of society to hazards in time and space and of the vulnerability of the society. And two, risk management and adaptation aim to modify the initial vulnerability conditions or hazards. Hazard propagation will expose a particular area in its society. Vulnerability is a combined result of exposure, susceptibility, fragility, and resilience capacity to anticipate, cope, and recover, identification and awareness of hazards, vulnerability, and risk are essential steps to establish effective management of risk caused by geological, hydrometeorological, meteorological, and anthropogenic or technological hazards. Susceptibility and fragility are vulnerability conditions that reflect the predisposition, which includes weaknesses and lack of strength, that can be expressed in physical, social, environmental, or economic terms. The lack of resilience is another important vulnerability factor that reflects the capacity level of a society to anticipate, to intervene proactively the risk conditions, to adapt, to be prepared to face future hazardous events, as well as to cope and recover effectively, and such events occur. A lack of these capacities increase the vulnerability of the society. Expressing vulnerability. Vulnerability can be expressed or presented in various ways. Vulnerability indices are based on indicators of vulnerability and are mostly used for holistic vulnerability, capacity, and resilience assessment. Vulnerability tables show the relation between hazard intensity and degree of damage in the form of a table. Vulnerability curves display the relation between hazard intensity and degree of damage for a group of elements at risk, ranging from 0 to 1. Different types of elements at risk will show different levels of damage given the same intensity of hazard. Vulnerability curves can be um, relative curves, of showing the percentage of property value damage, or absolute show the absolute amount of damage. Fragility curves provide the probability for a particular group of element at risk to be in or exceeding a certain damage state um, under a given hazard intensity. A damage probability matrix indicates the probability that a given structural typology will be in a given damage state for a given intensity. And measuring physical vulnerability. Measuring physical vulnerability is a complicated process and can be done using either an empirical or analytic. Hold on, analytical methods. Empir- empiri- Empirical methods are either based on damage data from historical hazard events or on expert opinion. For events that are relatively frequent and widespread, it is possible to collect information on the degree of physical damage to buildings or infrastructure after the event has occurred. This method is particularly suited for flooding and for earthquakes, which normally affect many buildings that are of the same type and allow generating large enough samples in order to make a correlation between the hazard intensity and the degree of damage. The result is either a damage probability matrix or a vulnerability curve. In many situations, expert opinion will be the most feasible option for obtaining vulnerability information, either because there's no prior no prior damage information, not enough funding to apply analytical methods, or because building classifications used elsewhere to do not reflect the local building stock. This method involves the, the consultation of a group of experts on vulnerability to give their opinion on the percentage damage they expect for the different structural types with different intensities of hazard. Um, Analytical methods study the behavior of buildings and structures based on engineering design criteria, analyzing seismic load, and derive the likelihood of failure using physical modeling tests, as well as computer simulation techniques. In the analytical methods, the information on the intensity of the hazard should be more detailed. For instance, in the case of flood, the different flood parameters, duration, velocity, impact, pressure, etc., are directly controlled during laboratory experiments, and their effects on the structures are quantified. This type of approaches are resource demanding, cost time and money, but allow for a better understanding of the relation between flood intensity and degree of damage for an exposed structure with definite characteristics. Moreover, due to data resource requirement, they can only be used for assessment of individual structures. For example, of course, obviously, flood um, hold on a second. Empirical methods are either based on damage data from historical events, hazard events to be exact, or on expert opinion. Figure 6 illustrates the use of damage surveys for the generation of vulnerability curves. The green dots shows the damage surveyed after a flood event for a particular building type. The range of damage results for the same intensity depends on the definition of the building types. If the building types are very similar, also the degree of damage that will be observed is more similar than for buildings that have a large variation within the group. The damage can be assessed with remote sensing data, for example, video images, oblique photographs, and high resolution satellite imagery. Um, and you got the analytical methods. Um, Analytical methods study the behavior of buildings and structures based on engineering design criteria, analyzing seismic load, and derive the likelihood of failure using physical modeling tests as well as the computer simulation techniques. In the analytical methods, and the information on intensity of the hazards should be more detailed. For instance, in the case of flooding vulnerability analysis of buildings, it is important to have different flood parameters: duration, velocity, impact, pressure, etc. And the numeral models and computer simulation techniques are used to estimate the reliability of a structure and calculate its probability of failure. The figure indicates the velocity depth function in the hazards flood model, in which if the building collapse is assumed, a threshold is set for collapse corresponding to 100% damage, and the um, inundation level is only considered if the velocity value is below the threshold. Yeah, you know what? All right, so all right, let me just go to measuring physical vulnerability for population. Population vulnerability can be subdivided into direct physical population vulnerability, injury, casualties, and homelessness, and indirect social vulnerability and capacity. Physical population vulnerability is mostly carried out after a building vulnerability study by analyzing the effect of the building damage on the population inside using different injury severity classes. Of course, for landslides, population vulnerability have been measured based on expert opinion. Table 3 presents results on population vulnerability for the Hong Kong area for landslides, which are based on an extensive database of slope failures and associated injuries and casualties. All right. All right. I am going to go to the I'm gonna go to the terrible news, actually, man. And speaking of vulnerabilities, man, we need to talk about the Supreme Court, man. There's some things that people in New York and any other state whatsoever is actually they feel vulnerable to things, okay? Um Hang on a minute. Hang on a second. Um Hang on a second, man. Here we go. Now, now listen. Y'all thought that the Roe versus Wade was bad. Well, the Supreme Court made a dumbass decision too. And this includes in regards to the whole overturn of the gun law. Gun reform advocates reached with outrage to the Supreme Court decision overturning a New York state handgun law that placed strict restrictions on carrying concealed firearms outside the home. The decision could pave the way to allow almost any law-abiding American to carry hidden guns in public places, even as levels of gun deaths rise in the U.S. Oh my gosh. The president Joe Biden said he was deeply disappointed. This ruling contradicts both common sense and the Constitution and should deeply trouble us all, Biden said, urging states to pass gun control legislation. I call on all Americans to across the country to make their voices heard on gun safety. Lives are on the line. New York's Governor Kathy Hochul condemned the ruling as reprehensible, adding that it could place millions of New Yorkers in harm's way. End quote. I'm prepared to call the legislature back to deal with this. We are looking at dates, Hochul said. Every Town for Gun Safety, a nonprofit that advocates for gun control, put out a statement condemning the decision. We're currently doing a careful reading of the entire decision in NYSRPA versus Bruin, and we'll give more detailed analysis later today, it said on Twitter. But the fact that the court ruled against New York makes it clear that it chose to put lives at risk and showed indifference to public safety. New York's Attorney General Letitia James also commented on social media, noted that her office was current reviewing the decision and would continue to do everything in our power to protect New Yorkers from gun violence and preserve our state's common sense gun laws. This is one of the things that makes us vulnerable, okay? Hold on. Let me say something about this, man. This is one of the things that makes people not only in Texas, not only in Philadelphia, not only in any of the states, including New York or whatever, we are vulnerable to the fucking violence. We're fucking vulnerable to the stabbings, the slashings in the subway stations, the trains and all the other stuff. And like I said before, this is why a lot of people are not fucking comfortable taking the train. And you expect people to fucking give up their cars and shit to ride the trains? No, until shit calms down, you better find a better plan, because at the same time, man, it doesn't really matter what the gas prices is. You know, people rather deal with gas prices more than dealing with the slashings and the amount of shootings and stabbings and shit, man. Like, come on, man. Like, seriously, y'all gotta do better, man. For real, for real. Y'all gotta do fucking better. Seriously. That's a prime example of what makes us vulnerable. It's not just relationships, but it's also what's going on in the environment of where we are. You know what I'm saying? There you go. Right there. And that's the reason why I had to go over the types of vulnerabilities, because I wanted to actually apply that to this story of the Supreme Court in regards to gun safety. So let's continue. All right. Um all right. Many conservatives, hold on a minute. Where did I yeah. Yeah, many conservatives praised the decision as a protection of the right to bear arms. Lauren Boebert, a Republican representative from Colorado, celebrated with a tweet. Uh, Scottish just struck down New York's unconstitutional gun law. Glory. Okay, that's like the wrong thing to say right there, man. The U.S. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, a Republican, also praised the decision, tweeting, "While states like New York have tried to restrict your Constitution's Second Amendment right through burdensome laws and regulations, today's Supreme Court ruling rightfully ensures the right of all law-abiding law-abiding Americans to defend themselves without unnecessary government interference." The Supreme Court's opinion, with the country still reeling from several mass shootings. Yeah, last month, an 18-year-old with a legally purchased assault style rifle allegedly shot and killed 10 people in a racist attack on a supermarket in a majority black neighborhood in Buffalo, New York. Of course, yes. And of course, another incident that happened recently, less than 2 weeks later, another 18-year-old broke into Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas, and shot and killed 19 children and 2 adults before being killed by law enforcement officers. And of course, let's see. This is crazy, man. This is so fucking nuts to me, man. And I need to say, I have to say this though, man. This is far. Hold on. This is a fucking nightmare for everybody. This is a fucking nightmare for everybody, man. And it's not just because of the Roe versus Wade. It's also the gun safety shit that's going on right now. It's like, how can you fucking celebrate the idea that, of course, there's the Second Amendment, the right to bear arms or whatever, but at what fucking cost? At what fucking cost? At what fucking cost? People's lives? Are people's lives worth being killed for over the Second Amendment? Let me tell you something. The idea that we are living in a corrupted society right now indicates to me that you don't care about nobody. You only care about fucking money. You only care about greed and all the other shit. And I feel like until things I don't know when things are going to be so-called normal, okay? None of us have all the answers to these incidents. None of us do. I don't have all the answers. None of the fucking celebrities have all the answers and shit. So, and yes, we're allowed to express outrage and stuff. Yes, we're allowed to do that. But at the same time, like, how do we find solutions to all these incidents, right? How? Of course, you have to reach out to your local people and all these crazy politicians and stuff like that, though, man. But I'm not gonna stay on this shit for too long, man, because that's just gonna make me even more vulnerable and emotional. Unlike this next story right here, you know what I mean? Unlike this next story, man, which has to do with a broad daylight shooting. Another shooting incident. Okay. Shocking new video released Wednesday shows a wild broad daylight shootout on a Brooklyn street. Two groups of four approached each other on Mermaid Avenue near West 21st Street in Coney Island around 5:30 p.m. Sunday, cops said. About 5 people opened fire during the clash, police said. Video released by the NYPD shows the shooters letting off a flurry of rounds on the sidewalk before retreating down the block. In all, about 36 rounds were fired, causing property damage, only cops said. One of the groups fled into a nearby building while the other group fled east on Mermaid Avenue. Can't believe the street's called Mermaid Avenue.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Mermaid Avenue. I can't believe this shit though, man. All right. Hang on a sec, man. This is fucking crazy. This is crazy, man. So, of course, there were no injuries that were reported. That's a good thing. Let's see. Let's see if there's any more terrible news to talk about. Um, let's see. Okay, we got another one. We got another terrible story, the serious story to talk about here, man. Um, okay. A person claiming to be a student threatened on social media to shoot up an elite high school in Brooklyn, and police are now investigating the sick post, cops said Sunday. My question to this shit is okay, I'll fill you in on why. I'm going to shoot up my school, Millennium Brooklyn High School, New York, with a MP-15 assault rifle and a Glock 17 pistol with hundreds of rounds of ammunition in a few weeks, and live streaming on my Instagram. The person wrote on the site Omingo on Thursday. That's terrible right there, man. An employee at the Park Slope School reported the disturbing threat to police at 9 a.m. Friday, an NYPD spokeswoman said. We're investigating it. Detective Denise Maroney said. The Post also said the shooter would blast dancing military style and ABBA Gimme Gimme Eurobeat music during the shooting. I hope to take at least 15 to 30 people with me, mostly in the classrooms or hallways, plus some people fleeing the building, the Post said. The alleged wannabe shooter vowed to not surrender to police and would shoot through the windows to get them. And before I do it, I'll send a link to my stream to everyone. The person then lists the names of more than a dozen students to be killed. The building where the school is located contains several different schools. An employee from Park Slope uh, Collegiate, which is also in the building, sent parents an email informing them about the threat. Last night, an unknown person posted a threat to one of the schools on our campus, Millennium Brooklyn High School, on a site called Amigo. The message reads, "Never heard of this. Never heard of this Amigo shit." Um, the post appears copy and pasted from social media threats that have been made in previous months to schools with throughout our area, but it does include the school name and the names of some students. We're taking the threat seriously. There have been a series of mass shooting threats at New York City and Long Island schools over the past week in the wake of the slaughter at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas. Man, listen, man. I may be a little upset about this, but I don't know if I could stay angry for a long time for the sake of my mental health, because there's a lot of things in life that we can control versus the ones that's out of our control. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this is just how I see it, though. Um, Anyway, man. Let me see if there's any more. Oh, we got another issue with the Supreme Court, man, and this involves the emissions of the power plants. Ooh, I ain't forget about that. Let's get to that. Let's get to that. Hold on a second. Let's get to that shit though, man. For real, for real, for real. Um, yes. Let's get to that. Um, of course, Of course, the U.S. Supreme Court on Thursday imposed limits on the federal government's authority to issue sweeping regulations to reduce carbon emissions from power plants in a ruling that undermines President Joe Biden's plan to tackle climate change and could constrain various agencies on other issues. The court's 6-3 ruling constrained the Environmental Protection Agency's authority to regulate greenhouse gas emissions from existing coal and gas fired power plants under the landmark Clean Air Act and anti pollution law. Biden's administration is currently working on new regulations. I hope he comes through with that. The court's six conservatives were in the majority in the decision authored by Chief Justice John Roberts, with the three liberals dissenting. Biden called the ruling another devastating decision that aims to take our country backwards. While this decision risks damaging our nation's ability to keep our air clean and combat climate change, I will not relent in using my lawful authority to protect public health and tackle the climate crisis, um, Biden said in a statement. The Democratic president said he directed his legal team to work with the Justice Department and affected agencies to review the ruling and find ways under federal law to protect against pollution, including emissions that cause climate change. The ruling is likely to have implications beyond the EPA as it raises new legal questions about any big decisions made by federal agencies. The court's conservative majority has signaled skepticism toward expensive federal regulatory authority. Conservative legal activists have long advocated reducing agency power in what has been called a war on the administrative state. Justices overturned a 2021 decision by the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia Circuit that had struck down Republican former President Donald Trump's Affordable Clean Energy Rule. That regulation, which Biden's administration does not plan to retain, would impose limits on a Clean Air Act provision called Section 111 that provides the EPA authority to regulate emissions from existing power plants. Trump's rule was meant to supplant Democrat former President Barack Obama's Clean Power Plan, mandating major reductions in carbon emissions from the power industry. The Supreme Court in 2016 blocked implementation of Obama's plan, which used Section 111 to spur an electric generation shift from coal to cleaner energy sources without ruling on its lawfulness. Amanda Schaefer Berman of law firm Corwell and Mooring, a senior environmental attorney in Obama's Justice Department, said the ruling was about the best that EPA could have hoped for given the current composition of the court. Berman said the EPA can now proceed to issue a new rule that regulates power plant carbon dioxide emissions, a bet in a more limited way than envisioned under Obama's plan. Thursday's ruling was based on what is called the major questions legal doctrine that requires explicit congressional authorization for action on issues of broad importance and societal impact. The justices in January appeared to embrace that theory when it blocked the Biden administration's vaccine or test policy or larger businesses, a key element to its plan to combat the COVID-19 slamdemic. The court's invocation of this doctrine sends a signal that the justices will be a major obstacle to federal agencies seeking to implement broad policies of national importance. The decision will constrain the EPA's ability to issue any regulations on power plants that push for an ambitious, a natural shift in energy policy toward renewable sources. As such, it will hamstring the administration's ability curb the power sector's emissions, about a quarter of U.S. greenhouse gases. Um, Federal Outreach, a group of Republican-led U.S. states led by major coal producer West Virginia, asked the justices to limit the EPA's ability to regulate greenhouse gas emissions from existing power plants. Other challenges included coal companies and coal-friendly industry groups. Coal is amongst the most greenhouse gas intensive fuels. West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrisey um, called the ruling a huge victory against federal outreach and the excesses of the administrative state. Roberts wrote that while capping carbon emissions at a level that would force a nationwide energy transition might be sensible, it is not plausible that Congress gave EPA the authority to adopt on its own such a regulatory scheme. Writing in dissent, liberal Justice Alina Kagan noted that the court chose to hobble Biden's climate agenda before his administration even issued its rule. The limits the court's majority now puts on EPA's authority fly in the face of the statute Congress wrote, Kagan said, adding that the court deprives EPA of the power needed and the power granted to curb the emission of greenhouse gases. Kagan said the court has a clear goal: prevent agencies from doing important work, even though that is what Congress directed. Democratic-led states and major power companies, including Cons- Consolidated Edison Incorporated, Exelon Corporated, and PG&E Corp, sided with Biden's administration, and as did the Edison Electric Institute, an investor-owned utility trade group. And Biden's administration wants the U.S. power sector decarbonized by 2035. The United States, behind only China in greenhouse gas emissions, is a pivotal player in efforts to combat climate change on a global basis. Thursday's decision came on the final day of rulings for the court's current 9-month term. Okay. Okay. Do you know why the Clean Air Act exists? The Clean Air Act exists. Let me put myself on here, man. The Clean Air Act exists because over the years you hear about people who are getting sick with, air pollution that's going on in the air. Not just because of the exhaust pipes of vehicles, but in the air itself, especially from power plants itself, though. Why in the hell would the Supreme Court make another dumb decision? This is the most ridiculous, dumbest shit that they ever did, man. And it's a fucking, and like I said before, this is a fucking nightmare. And this is why I went over vulnerabilities with you folks out there that's actually because there's different types of vulnerabilities, and I actually wanted to get to, I wanted to actually, go over it and then and then hope that you folks out there actually get a better understanding on the different types of vulnerabilities. And there are some more things that actually makes us vulnerable. So I'm actually going to go into it right now. So here it is. 25 things. Yes. Yes, 25 things that makes individuals vulnerable. Starting with number 1, big men passing by me on the sidewalk at night, staying sober, going to the bathroom with the door open, falling in love. Well, I'm a hopeless romantic, so I don't really know about all of that right there. Um, oh man, writing poetry. Yeah, um, one of my maulers breaking, buying presents for people. Sheesh. That's stressful. Going barefoot, thong underwear. Oh shit. Tax season, that's stressful too. Having my photo taken, flying in an airplane, sex. Oh shit. Funerals, obviously depressing. Bra fittings, speaking in public. Yeah, I had an issue with that when I was in college, so I'm glad I'm not doing anything like that anymore. Showering when no one else is home. Cancer, that's a scary thing. Using our building's laundry room at night. That's what laundromats are for and what washing machines in the cribs are for. Being unable to find my glasses. Uh, the download drift of some of my body parts. What the hell? Oh shit. Being touched, people carrying no people crying in front of me watching the news, which I don't really like watching the news all day long, man. Um, and of course, telling people what I believe in. Ugh. Yeah, projected views, man. You know what I mean? Um, fucking projected views of other people. So let's see. What else can we talk about here? I want to actually get into. Okay. One more terrible story, and it involves it involves an incident at the Barclay Center. Let me make sure I don't forget. Let me make sure I don't forget this shit too, man. Hold on. Hold on. The let me see. Oh shit. Oh shit. Hold on. All right. A lot of panic actually happened recently. Most recently has to do with several people that were injured when panic crowds at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn stampede back into the arena after a boxing match on Sunday, according to videos and witnesses. At least some inside the Brooklyn arena believe there was an active shooter on the scene after the Javonta Davis Rolando Morel fight. But the NYPD denied any shots were fired. Only media and production workers were still in the Barclays when a fight broke out, and some mistook the commotion for a shooter. Boxing reporter Ryan Sangala told the Post. Dozens of people began frantically um, pouring back inside. Witnesses and video showed were used to brawls at boxing events, but recent headlines and the panic of the crowd made many of us worried that our worst fears would come true. Sangala said, "Thankfully, we were able to return to our seats to file our stories and exit safely." Yeah, people were definitely frightened. It wasn't like they were just moving back inside to get away from a few people throwing punches. It was it was if they were running for their lives. Shit, I would run for my life too if this shit happened. Yeah. Sports Illustrated writer Chris Mannix tweeted that a sound like gunshots rang out inside, though he later said the sound may have come from outside. Frightening moments, he wrote. Hundreds of fans started to rush back into the arena from the concourse. People, including media, ducking for cover. Video showed crowds scrambling, and another clip appeared to show shoes and other items strewn on the floor in the aftermath. Um, Although it was not an active shooter situation, there were erroneous reports circulating on social media as the nation remains on edge following two recent mass shootings in Buffalo and Uvalde, Texas. An NYPD spokesperson confirmed to the Post the active shooter report is inaccurate. It's a large crowd condition. No shots fired. No one shot outside the Barclay Center, the spokesperson said. It wasn't immediately clear how many people were hurt or what the extent of their injuries were. Champion tennis player Naomi Osaka was at Saturday's fight and said she was petrified in the ensuing mayhem after a shooter rumor circulated. I was just in the Barclays Center and suddenly I heard shouting and saw people running. Then we were being yelled at that there was an active shooter and we had to huddle in a room and close the doors. I was so fucking petrified, man. She tweeted around 1:45 a.m. Sunday. Another Twitter user wrote, "Everyone at Barclays Center was panicking. Both my knees are bleeding from being on the floor for what seemed like 20 minutes. The user thanked a brother for pulling me out safe." Yeah. Yeah, that right there is a little scary right there though, man. You know what I'm saying? Um yeah. And that's why, I don't go out as much, man, and I don't really blame myself. I'm just don't want to be in those dangerous situations. That's what it is. Anyway, man. Anyway, another terrible situation, but this doesn't involve any shootings, but this is involving a music artist who goes by the name of Her. All right. Um, yeah, we're gonna get into this story right now. Actually, let's get into the story right now before I even do anything else here. So here we go. Here we go. And this is according to Variety right here. So let's get into this right here. So Gabriella. Hold on a second. Let me just try to pronounce this. Gabriella Sarmiento Wilson, the Grammy and Oscar winning singer songwriter known as H.E.R, is suing MBK Entertainment, the record label owned by her longtime manager Jeff Robertson, for the rights to her music catalog. H.E.R signed with Robertson in 2011 when she was 14 years old. According to legal documents cited by The Blast, H.E.R is suing for declaratory relief and violation of the Business and Professions Code and seeking to be released from her contract with MBK. The lawsuit was filed in the Superior Court of the State of California in Los Angeles County on Thursday. Wilson's releases under the name Her all have been released under the MBK logo and distributed by Sony Music's RCA Records. It is unclear. Um, it is unclear whether her dispute extends to her management contract with Robertson, who previously managed Alicia Keys. At the time of this article, publication, neither Robertson nor reps for RCA have responded to Variety's request for comment. The documents reportedly state that the contract makes her an exclusive employee for an initial period, which ended the later of 15 months after May 19, 2011, or 12 months after the commercial release in the United States of Wilson's first album, um, under under the contract, and up to 5 additional option periods of more than 1 year. They also state that Her believed the contract made her an exclusive employee of MBK past the current date, May 19, 2011, and potentially until much longer, as each option period is key to a commercial release by MBK of a record album. She also claims that In his role as manager, Robertson fired the law firm that first represented her and alleges that Robertson caused his own lawyers to represent Wilson in the negotiation of subsequent contracts, including publishing and touring agreements. Then she then alleges that those lawyers took 5% of the deals they negotiated, but did not have a written fee agreement or a conflict waiver signed by Wilson, and said that they performed the services as a favor to their client Robertson, who was paid 20% commission for each of those deals. MBK, she reportedly claims, has significantly limited her employment rights, and that she has not been free to provide her recording services except as permitted or dictated by MBK. She also claims that MBK has exclusively owned the right to exploit her name and likeness for her recordings. With the lawsuit filed in California, she notes that the majority of her recordings have been made in the state, although she is informed and believes that MBK is a corporation based out of New York. She claims that her contract forces her to work beyond 7 years after May 19, 2011, and further states that it violates California Labor Code 2855, which prohibits the enforcement beyond 7 years of a contract, um, such as the agreement to render services of a special, unique, extraordinary, or intellectual character. Wilson's 7 years have run. The lawsuit reportedly reads MBK's attempt to thwart this important and fundamental California policy should not be condoned. H.E.R is seeking a judicial declaration that the agreement is voidable and may not be enforced against plaintiff under California law to the extent it purports to require plaintiff's services after May 18, 2019, and is effectively void. She requests that the judge ruled that the agreement violates the California Labor Code 7 year rule and is asking for restitution and disgorgement of funds according to proof for costs of suit incurred herein and for such other and further relief as the court deems just and proper. All right. Okay. This is why look, this is why a lot of people this is why certain music artists shouldn't be shouldn't be under any fucking contracts and shit. And look, there are bad contracts, and it's not just 360 deals, man. It's also basically the people over there who is messing around and not letting you release any more music projects, the exploitation and all that other shit. This is what some people don't really understand about being under a contract. You end up getting exploited and all the other stuff for your likeliness and all the other shit. It's like come on. Like, yeah, I reckon companies gotta do better, man. I'm sorry, man, but I have to agree with her on this one. Like that's just plain crazy right there. And I'm not really. I just find it crazy. Like, why would you exploit this music artist for, man? You know what I mean? And I have to really say that I have to really say that they're gonna regret this, man. So you know what I mean? I hope her wins this case. So hopefully she wins this case. Um. So yeah, there you go, right there. What else can we talk about here? I want to try to lighten up the damn mood, man. You know what I'm saying? I want to light up the mood, man. Let's get to. All right. right, before we even go over the highlights of the Hot 97 Summer Jam and the BET Awards, let's go to Kendrick Lamar's recent album. Kendrick Lamar's recent album. Okay, let's see. Let's see what we got here, man. Actually, hold on. Let me get to this other story. Actually, hold on. Let me get to this other story right here. I forgot about this. Um. All right. So this is involving speed cameras. For the first time ever, New York City's school zone speed cameras can now legally operate around the clock. On Friday, Governor Kathy Hochul signed a bill to extend and expand the city's speed camera program until July 2025, allowing the automated enforcement tools to operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I want to thank all the lawmakers who have worked so hard to make this possible because New Yorkers don't just deserve safe streets at certain hours of the day. We need to use every tool at our disposal, and far too many of our children have been killed by cars to not reauthorize and expand this life-saving program, Hochul said. Um, Previously, speed cameras had only been permitted to operate on weekdays from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Although the new legislation takes effect immediately, a city Department of Transportation official told the the New York Daily Post, the New York Daily News, that the agency needs time to put structures in place for a 24-hour program. That means the cameras in New York City won't roll overnight until full implementation over the coming months. Other, other core aspects of the program remain unchanged, as the speed cameras must be placed within a quarter mile um, rad, rad, radial distance from a school building, which will continue issuing $50 fines to drivers who exceed the posted speed limit by more than 10 miles per hour. Hochul was joined by State Senator Andrew um, Gurnardes and Assemblywoman Deborah Glick, who sponsored the expansion bills in their respective houses of their state legislature. Tonight at 10:01 p.m., for the first time since speed cameras were authorized in New York City 9 years ago, the cameras will be operational during weekends and for 24 hours a day. This will undoubtedly save lives in New York City, Grenades said. As the original sponsor for the school zone speed camera legislation, I am proud to have enhanced this life saving program back in 2019 and once again this year by allowing this data back proven technology to encourage safe driving at all hours of the day. The streets around our schools will be safer and our lives will be saved, Glick added. Mayor Eric Adams, who has advocated for 24/7 speed camera operation alongside Department of Transportation Commissioner um, um, Edonis Rodriguez in recent months, celebrated the landmark victory. Traffic safety is public safety, and speed cameras save lives. Now we can use this proven tool 24/7. This Monday, we saw once again the reality of traffic violence in our city. If our streets aren't safe, our city isn't safe. This is how we protect our streets, save lives, and make New York City safer, the mayor said. Critics of the city's speed cameras, including Councilman Joe Borelli and Councilman David Carr, both of whom voted against a city council resolution on the program's expansion, have questioned efficacy of cameras, claiming that the city is more concerned with generating revenue than bolstering public safety. The cameras haven't worked. We have seen more deaths now than before, Borelli said at the time. I can't get a stop sign, speed bump, or sidewalk installed, but DOT comes like gangbusters if it's a camera or a bike lane. Carr added nearly 10 years after the speed cameras were first introduced to our streets and then expanded almost 40-fold. The number of traffic deaths in this city is nearly identical. Are they slowing some people down? Maybe the, the consciousness, the conscience, con- yeah, the consciousness, the conscious, um, yeah. Anyway, drivers um who are not the problem. Yeah, but they don't address the actual reckless drivers and scofflaws who are causing the problems. This is about money, not public safety. We can find ways to make our roads safer for pedestrians, drivers, and cyclists without picking the pockets of Staten Islanders and New Yorkers, he continued. However, city officials have repeatedly emphasized that the speed cameras are intended to serve as a critical public safety measure as opposed to a source of revenue. City data shows that as of December 2020, speeding has dropped by an average of 72% at locations where the cameras have been installed, with injuries falling by 14%. And the cameras have also shown to deter repeated speeding offenses, with the majority of vehicles only receiving one or two violations since the program began in 2014. And a little quick side note, that's the air conditioning that's on right now, in case you're wondering. Additionally, in 2021, more than half of the vehicles that received a speed camera violation did not receive a second one. Earlier this year, Adams advocated for the state to grant New York City home rule over the city's streets, which would have included the ability to make changes to the speed camera program without seeking state legislative approval. However, the signed legislation did not include a home rule provision, meaning the program will again need to be extended by the state legislature before it expires on July 1st, 2025. An earlier version of the bill would have stiffened the penalties for drivers who were repeatedly caught speeding, with a graduating fine structure and potential suspension of vehicle registration for repeat offenders. The new fine structure would have cost drivers more, with each violation obtained with a 2 year period. The first two violations would have carried a fine of $50, with a fine of $100 for a third violation, $200 for a fourth violation, $300 for a fifth violation, and $500 for a sixth and any subsequent violations. In addition to the increasing fines, a vehicle were to receive six violations within a 2 year period, the vehicle's registration would have been suspended for 90 days. However, those provisions were removed prior to the legislation being approved by the state legislature, meaning fines will remain at $50 for all speed camera violations with no threat of suspended registration. Yes. Let's see. Um, yes, here we go. Staten Island speed cameras, of course. Obviously, Staten Island Advanced SILive.com recently analyzed speed camera violation records that are publicly available on the city's open data page to determine which locations have issued the most tickets. The data reflects all speed camera violation um, that have been issued on Staten Island from January 1st, 2022 through April 26, 2022, the last date available on the city's open data page. During that time, violations were issued at over 200 locations throughout the borough, though the DOT's refusal to provide locations for speed cameras leaves it unclear how many of the locations have permanent cameras and how many were issued by mobile units. Over a nearly 4 month span, speed cameras on Staten Island issued a total of 76,614 school zone speed camera violations, according to city records. At $50 per violation, that represents $3,830,700 in revenue generated by the city during that time. During that time period, speed cameras were only permitted to operate on weekdays from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. From January 1st through April 26th, there were a total of 82 weekdays, meaning Staten Island speed cameras issued an average of roughly 934 violations each day that the cameras were permitted to operate, with cameras only allowed to ticket motorists for 16 hours each weekday. That means that when the cameras were on, they issued approximately 58 violations per hour, nearly one each minute. Okay, I think speed cameras is a good idea, man. To prevent more kids being killed and run over by cars and stuff. So I feel like that's a good idea, man. It's a good idea, man. So yeah, let's just start with that right there. Let's see. Let's see. So I was gonna go over the Kendrick Lamar thing, right? Um, let's see. The hold on a second. Let me just take a look at this. Hold on. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Y'all probably know that Kendrick Lamar's recent album already came out already. So here's what's going on in Hip Hop DX. Kendrick Lamar opens Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers with a brutal confession. I've been going through something, he mutters on United in Grief. The stack the staccato piano chords soundtracking um, a, a a descent or decent, whatever, into madness. It's a simple phrase, curt and concise, that begins to cut through all the intrigue surrounding his artistic disappearance. It's been 1,855 days since he released his last opus, Damn, which only further cemented the Compton icon as a beacon of critical and cultural success. Then, for 5 years, it seemed as though none of that mattered to him anymore. From the outside, it looked like he was content to rack up Pulitzer prizes, and coast on the occasional feature. On Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, Kendrick explains what that something was. For 75 minutes on this double-sided album, he parses through every issue that plagued his mind during his break from the spotlight. He's placed under the microscope using enthralling funk, jazz, and soul compositions to fuel the uncomfortable introspective ramblings that have been churning for half a decade. In doing so, he combines grand moments of musical execution with intense vulnerability. And yes, the name of the episode is Vulnerabilities, folks. Pulling off one of the greatest feats in his career. The presence of the other familial voice in the opener, Kendrick's partner Whitney of Ford, Alfred, is the second clue to figuring out the thesis of Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Tell them your truth. She speaks softly, acting as the grounding force for Lamar before he begins self discovery. I went and got me a therapist. I can debate on my theories and sharing it. Kendrick raps while a subdued marching band drumline slowly builds with the piano chords. He he warns his brand of transparency is brash and unflinching. Hang on 1 second. All right. Frantically recounting his lust, addiction induced infidelity, inspiring material obsessions. His thoughts and words unravel at the seams fraught by coping with guilt and shame. Kendrick espouses ideas that register as both half baked and contradictory, getting in the way of salient points he makes throughout the album. For someone who claims to have been offline for much of the last 5 years, he consistently laments the supposed impact cancel culture has on creative freedom, standing with the complaints of Dave Chappelle. What the fuck is cancel culture, dog? Say what I want about you niggas. I'm like Oprah, dog. He shouts he shouts at the end of 95. Um on the subsequent track Worldwide Steppers, he doubles down. Niggas killed freedom of speech. Everyone's sensitive. Kendrick rambles over a beat that sounds like a Honda Accord engine turning over. Damn. Oh shit. Oh man, it's a tired take, one formed in a rich echo chamber characterized by a fear of a boogeyman that doesn't exist. His revolt against cancel culture is punctuated by the presence of Kodak Black, towing the line between advocating for the forgiveness of his domestic violence and alleged sexual assault transgressions and flaunting the inability to truly cancel an artist. He calls upon producers such as Soundwave, JLBS, and DJ Dahi, surrounding himself with creators who understand the unique quirks he has in his creative style. The production team on Rich Spirit, spearheaded by DJ Mustard, crafts a graceful beat that infuses West Coast bounce with singer Sam Dew's angelic vocalizations. On Purple Hearts, a rousing drum beat combined with ornate strings and piano composition give Ghostface Killer's outstanding performance the cinematic stage it deserves. It proves Kendrick is still extremely adept at putting himself in positions to make the most intriguing music possible. Surprisingly, the moments where Kendrick abandons the long form storytelling structure he becomes famous for, choosing choosing instead to rap and croon in tight pockets, produce outstanding results. Supported by two standout cameos by Blast and Amanda Reefer. 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 Oh shit. Oh my god. Oh man. Oh man. Yeah, Reefer on Die Hard, he elects to muse about the philosophies of love in short spurts. And quote, tell me you in my corner right now. When I fall short, I'm leaning on you to cry out. He he beckons with refreshingly emotional openness. On Count Me Out, he unleashes a dizzying amount of flows for over 4 minutes, with each bar nestling in the space between the stripped down kick drums, and he's still capable of executing moments of brevity um, amongst the shroud of heavy subject matter. The hook of the trap influenced Silent Hill is delightful, earworm leaving the listener mimicking Kendrick's falsetto as he croons. Push these niggas off me like huh. Oh shit. Holy shit, man. That's that. Oh shit. Um the most uncomfortable listen of the album is also the most musically intriguing. We Cry Together is a sprawling, polarizing mess, a, a tableau of one of the more toxic arguments between a couple, performed by Kendrick and Zola star Taylor Page. Each barb is piercing, precise, and deeply personal. Page's character blames society, rampant misogyny on Kendrick's actions, and gives and he gives it right back, holding his material gifts over her head. It gets ugly, but no one can't tear away from it once it's on. Like we're trapped on the couch between them. That was Kendrick's goal, and it was pulled off with ease. A Florence and the Machine sample combines the Alchemist production, which sounds like it belongs on Tana Talk 3, to create a stress filled roller coaster ride that someone will try at least once. The parental references on Father Time and Mother I Sober represent the height of his bubbled up emotions. On the former, he raps with fury about his relationship with his own father, parsing out the hereditary effects of toxic mas- masculine. Hold on a second. Masculinity. Okay. Um, I love my father for telling me to take off the gloves, cause everything he didn't want was everything I was. He raps at a point in his life where he can forge his own concept of what it means to be a man. Then on Mother I Sober, that same fury dissipates. In its place lies a lamenting whisper that sits over a sober piano beat. Kendrick's me- mel- melancholy um, arrives as he unpacks the generational trauma of familial violence and sexual abuse involving his mother, cousin, cousin, and himself. It's the heaviest stretch of the album, punctuated by um, pottish heads, um, Gibbons becoming a stand-in for Kendrick's pain as she sings, "I wish I was anybody but myself." But on Auntie Diaries, Kendrick shares the story of how his two relatives experienced with trans identity interacts with his own journey of accountability and growth. It's fueled by earnestness and empathy. As he reconciles his past homophobia and transphobia with his love for his family, it unravels when he tries to demonstrate the progression of unlearning his uses of the F slur, but in the process he repeats it 10 times, ultimately distracting from his message of acceptance. Yes, Kendrick is emphasizing the slur is not his to say, aching to how he wouldn't let a white girl say the N word at his concert, but the wanton usage of the word upsets folks in queer communities, fumbling a chance to open the door for legitimate LGBT LGBTQIA plus allyship in mainstream rap. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers paint a gripping portrait of how trauma and therapy have morphed the 34-year-old artist beyond recognition. Even with superior production choices and a semi triumphant tone of self actualization, um, it feels as if listeners can't fully define what place he's in. The question of what's left for him lingers. The only clue is the final line of Mother I Sober, where Sam Dew sings, I, I bare my soul and now we're free. In his mind, with this confessional epic, he purged the mountain of pain from the past. Kendrick has achieved absolution from listener and critic expectations, free to head toward the uncertainty of the future with the shackles of his memories left behind. Um, yeah. All right. So there's a few people on Twitter that actually reacted to this. So Beeben out from Twitter says, "How the fuck Kendrick Lamar dropped his best-selling album after disappearing for 5 years?" And Luca Guarini, no, Kendrick Lamar wasn't trying to prove he's the best rapper alive. He didn't feature any TDE artists. He didn't create a rock influenced album. Kendrick didn't make an album that sounds anything like GKMC, Damn, or TPAB. He made the album he wanted to make, and I respect that. And Whitley Grant 13 says, Kendrick Lamar's Rich Spirit got me playing it on repeat. I can't even finish the album. Codeine Fridge. Fridge. Oh, Fridge. This new Kendrick Lamar album got me like. and and La underscore J Zil LZ says, when Kendrick Lamar and Taylor Page were arguing on the album, I was like, am I supposed to be here? That's part of being creative, man, when musically, man, you know what I'm saying? There's certain things on, certain albums, especially it's as meant for you to understand versus the ones that's not meant for you to understand. I mean, it's all about finding the balance, man. That's what it is with Kendrick Lamar, man. You know what I mean? He's telling his story, man. He's telling his story without the TDE artist, though, man. You know what I'm saying? So I actually, I actually have to give him that, though, man. So let's make some noise for Kendrick Lamar, man, for actually expressing himself, man, on the recent album that just came out, man. Let me see how much time we got here. All right. All right, let's go over all right, let's go over what went down in the all right. I want to lighten the mood up in this episode. So basically let's get to um okay. So there's the BT Awards that recently stopped by, actually that recently came out, actually. So let's just first let's go over the Hot 97 thing, man. Let's go over the what went down in the Hot 97 Summer Jam thing that went down. All right, so yes, so this is according to Hip Hop Wired. Um the official start of the summer in New York City is Hot 97 Summer Jam concert. And yes, it definitely indicated that this year we are indeed back outside. Summer Jam 2022 brought the heat. The annual concert made its triumphant return in 2021 after taking a year off due to the COVID-19 slamdemic. Hot 97 looked to build off the energy it started last year with another strong concert packed with performances from new and current hip hop stars, including the Rain. As with every Summer Jam show, fans got warmed up outside of the MetLife Arena, um, East Rutherford, New Jersey, enjoying performances from artists who aren't big enough to rock inside the stadium but deserving of a place on the festival stage. Emerging artists like Girl Code, Nardo Wick, Babyface Ray, Drewski and Friends featuring B Love, J&R Choi, Dougie B, 22GZ, Lady London, Saucy Santana, NLE Chopper, Young Blue, and Corday got things started before fans headed inside. Um, so Summer Jam 2022 had its moments. So once the sun began to set, that's when the brightest stars arrived to hit the Summer Jam main stage. This year's slate of performers definitely held it down. Attendees saw performances from Dream Dolls, Sincere, Benny the Butcher, Rowdy Rich, Pusha T, City Girls, Little Baby, Lil Durk, um, and Brooklyn's own Fabio Foreign, closing out the show for his hometown of NYC. Burna Boy was originally on the bill, but he was a late scratch along with Young Thug and Gunna because they are currently locked up after being caught up in the RICO charge. Oh boy. There was also a dope tribute for the late DJ K Slay, who passed away in April due to the COVID-19 complications. Of course, it wouldn't be a Summer Jam concert if there were surprise guests to deliver those signature moments we have come to expect from NYC's biggest concert of the year. Hit the gallery below to see the top moments from Summer Jam 2022. So, number one, Cardi B. Cardi B hits the festival stage to perform "Shake It." It wouldn't be Summer Jam. It wouldn't be a Summer Jam concert if Barty didn't show up. What made this surprise even more special is the fact that she hopped on the festival stage to join Dougie B and K Flocker to perform their hit single "Shake It." Rowdy Rich missed his governor's ball set after being popped for weapons charges as he entered the venue, but he beat those charges and performed on Sunday. He's a legend for that. He also led the crowd in a "fuck the NYPD" chant to celebrate. And put your lights up for the Drama King, Papoose, Papoose, Remy Ma, Fat Joe, Busta Rhymes, The Locks, Jim Jones, and other New York City artists hit the stage for a fitting tribute to the late Drama King DJ K Slay. It was a touching moment. Young Thug had a message for his fans. Young Thug didn't let his current pre- uh, predic- predicament keep him from being involved with Summer Jam 2022 in some capacity. He delivered an audio message to fans in attendance and watching via live stream. I want to say thank you to all my friends and my family for coming out and supporting us. Thug began. You know, your support during this time means a lot to us. This isn't just about me or YSL. I always use my music as a form of artistic expression, and now I see that black artists and rappers don't have that, freedom. He continued, "Everybody, please sign the Protect Black Art petition and keep praying for us. I love y'all." And Fabio Foreign brings out Chloe Bailey. The self-proclaimed king of New York has plenty to be hyped about. Closing out Summer Jam is a tremendous honor, and on top of that, he's a Brooklyn native. It was indeed a moment. So that means he needed to have some surprises for the fans in attendance, and bringing out Chloe Bailey to perform his song "Hello" off his debut album was definitely a nice treat. Yes, it was. Yes, it was, man. And now we go to you go to the BT highlights. All right. Um. Okay, so there are some highlights. The 2022 BT Awards started headlines weeks before it took place last Sunday, but despite the drama that transpired between the channel and Lil Nas X and highly anticipated shows, was still a huge night. With Doja Cat leading the nominees with 6 nods, Drake and Ari Lennox followed suit with 4 nominations each. Sadly, all of them got home without even bagging one. With the shocking turn of events for the most nominated artists, the night still took an explosive route with the surprise performances, record breaking wins, and more. So, the BET Award 2022 winners. Silk Sonic has made BET Awards 2022 their night again as they took home the Album of the Year award. They also won Best Group, beating Migos, City Girls, and Chloe and Haley, among others. The Weeknd and Jasmine Sullivan were hailed the best male and female R&B pop artists, with the Helix Tales hitmaker delivering a rousing speech on standing up against the recent overturning of the Supreme Court of the Roe versus Wade ruling on abortion. Megan Thee Stallion and Kendrick Lamar, who were both at Glastonbury Festival last week and won Best Female and Male Hip Hop Artist. Newcomer Lotto won Best New Artist, while Wizkid and Justin Bieber's Essence won Best Collaboration, giving um, Bieber his first BET Award. Diddy also received the BET Awards 2022 Lifetime Achievement Award, making him the second rapper to win the award, the first being Queen Latifah last year. And the BET Award 2022 performances. Last night's BET Awards 2022 was a bang. First on the list was Jack Harlow's performance of First Class. Um, just when everyone thought he would be dancing all by himself, he surprised everyone as Brandy made her way to the stage with her own verse. Lotto Lotto shortly brought the house down after stunning everyone with with a surprise Mariah Carey appearance, singer her part on Big Energy, and starting her shining performance with a flute solo. Lizzo danced and sang "It's About Damn Time," which became viral on the video sharing platform TikTok since its release. So we go to the BET 2022 highlights. Before Diddy received her her beat her BET um awards 2022 Lifetime Achievement Award, everyone was taken aback when Kanye West made a surprise appearance to give his flowers to the rap icon. Although his face was covered, the Donda hitmaker referred to Combs as his favorite artist. Ah, God looks ridiculous in that shit too. Conversations about the recent overturning of the Roe versus Wade and gun law also made to the censor stage as hosts Taraji P. Henson, Jamel Monet, Jasmine Sullivan, and Lotto, among others, took a jab on the issue. Yeah, yeah. All right. I'm about to give them. I'm about to give the fun performances of Hot 97 Summer Jam and the people at the BET 2022 awards for doing their thing on stage and taking the issue with Roe versus Wade and the gun safety shit that I actually had to actually covered today instead of the Roe versus Wade shit though, man. You know what I'm saying? I had to scrap that shit. And the reason why I scrapped that shit is because I wanted to be able to get a better understanding on what makes people very feel vulnerable, and there's many issues out there that makes people vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes feeling vulnerable can lead to being uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Um, so that's just my understanding of feeling vulnerable, and that's why I had to get a better understanding so I could you know show you folks out there the different types of vulnerabilities that's that I didn't know about, so I pass it along to you. So there you go, right there. I am going to give a round of applause to the performers at Summer Jam 2022 of Hot 97 and the BET 2022 awards for doing their thing too. And let me just make some noise, man, for them actually, man, with some explosions. All right. All right, one more time for some noise, man. All right. Let me see. Oh yeah. Like I promised, I'm gonna get back to the types of places that you're looking forward to actually have some fun for the 4th of July weekend. I didn't forget California, and I didn't forget New York, so I'm gonna continue where I left off. Let me see where I left off. Hold on, hold on. Yes, let's get to. I'm gonna continue the California thing though. Hold on. Yeah, let me continue the California thing. Yeah. Hold on a minute here. This is where did I leave off? Okay, where did I leave off though? Wait. Where did I leave off? Um, where did I leave off though? Let me just get the chance to. Um, Forgive me. I'm just looking for where I left off actually. So just give me a sec. Um. Okay. Okay. The display. No, I didn't get that. Wait. Oh. Old Zoo Griffin Park. I think I did that already. Wait. Um. Yeah, I did that one. I did Griffin Park. I did that one. Of course, Long Beach. I think I did this one. You know what? Let's. Yeah. All right. So this is for the Californians out there though that's living in California that's looking for something fun to do. So I am going to actually. So this is for July 4th. Um, for the weekend. So there you go. This is crazy, man. Hold on a minute, man. Um, damn, what is wrong with this shit, man? The hell's going on with this shit? Anyway, wait a second. Wait, this was okay. Things to do. All right. Okay. So, the Queen Mary isn't quite ready to partake in the fireworks show again, but the rest of Long Beach sure is. The 4th of July, you'll find pyro over Queensway Bay around 9 p.m. for a free show, easily viewable from most of the Long Beach waterfront attractions. If you rather watch from the water, Harbor Breeze Cruises has two different boats departing from Rainbow Harbor, $75 on the 4th, as well as a July 3rd cruise, $40 for a 9 p.m. show on the eastern edge of the city over Alamitos Bay. And you can, and the location for Rainbow Harbor and Shoreline Village, 401-435 Shoreline Village Drive, Long Beach, 90802. Um, okay. Hang on a second, man. All right. All right. Up next is another place, another fun place to do. Is Burbank. Burbank Starlight Bowl is putting together a whole day of 4th of July festivities, starting with a flyover, a color guard presentation, and then performances by the company men and the soul of Broadway. Then it's on to the fireworks show around 9 o'clock p.m. If you're not really into the programming but still want to see some pyro, we suggest scoping out Castaway, just across the canyon, the Grand Canyon. Oh shit, that's the only canyon that I know. That's the only canyon that I know. Anyway, which typically offers fireworks seating and some pretty killer views of the valley. And of course, this is located. Of course, the Starlight Bowl is located at 1249 Lockhead View Drive in Burbank. You can check out their website, which is www.starlightbowl.com for more information. And you can buy, and you can make sure you can find more information about the ticket and how much it is. So I am going to actually get into this next one. So the next place to watch the fireworks is 626 Night Market. The Midnight Snacker's greatest fantasy is just a car ride away. One of America's largest Asian food markets spans the course of Santa Anita Park's front paddock gardens during the summer. Come hungry and come caffeinated. This lively market, complete with over 250 Asian street food and booze peddlers, um, live music, live music, artists, games, and beyond, won't put itself to bed until midnight. The event has also expanded its way. Hang on a second. Expanded its way um, to Orange County as well as to Santa Monica for a mini edition with 24 vendors. Um, all right, so location Santa Anita Park is located at 285 West Huntington Drive in Los Angeles, California. You can also check out their website at www.626nightmarket.com for more information and the ticket prices. Um, let's see. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Yes. Poolside Cinema at the Fairmont Miramar. Here we go. If you if watching movies in your car or on a picnic blanket isn't quite your speed, perhaps you'll prefer this poolside presentation every Saturday night during the summer at sunset and on some Sundays. Both hotel guests and visitors at the Fairmont Miramar can slip into something waterproof and enjoy a family-friendly flick around the Santa Monica Hotel's luxurious pool. You'll find a mix of arts, Disney faves, and recent animated release projected onto a portable screen. Think Moana in console and How to Train Your Dragon. Eats and libations will be available for purchase from the Fig restaurant menu. And though seating is free for hotel guests, visitors will have to secure a $20 reservation. And of course, Fairmont Miramar is located at 101 Wilshire Boulevard, Santa Monica, in California. Um, Zip code 90401. The price is $20. And you can check out their website, www.fairmontmiramar.com/experiences and all that other good stuff for more information. And and you, you know the rest. All right. Let's see. We have the next one is First Fridays at the Natural History Museum. Okay, if you are sick of First Fridays only offering a high density of food trucks and lines at your favorite dive bars, check out something old in a good way. We promise at the Natural History Museum where First Fridays offer dinosaurs and DJs. The first Friday of every month from March through July plays host to a KCRW presented evening of music allowing visitors of all ages to stay late for a night at the museum. Each month offers a different lineup of musical guests and DJs, guided museum tours, and scientist led talks. Check out the museum's website for advance tickets and updates on info. So there you go, right there. Natural History Museum, located at Exposition Park, 900 Exposition Boulevard, Los Angeles, 90007. Price is $20, and you can go to their website at nhm.org/First Fridays 2022 0 for more information. And all right, kaboom! 4th of July fireworks spectacular. Here we go. Okay. What's more American than spending the 4th of July watching some sort of celebrities beat each other up? That's the idea behind Kaboom, an annual celebration at the Fairplex that features a celebrity boxing match and family picnic, followed by a fireworks spectacular, usually around 9:15 p.m. And Fairplex is located at 1101 West McKinley Avenue, Los Angeles, California 91768, and the prices is between $30 to $50. And you can check out their website, fairplex.com/events/kaboom. Oh, let me do a little explosion for Kaboom. Hold on. Yeah. Hold up. What else? Okay, wait a minute. Okay, things to do. Okay, hold on a second. All right. So, whether you intend to or not, you are going to see some 4th of July fireworks, or at the very least, hear them thanks to Angelinos summer-long affair with very much illegal amateur pyro. But Independence Day itself brings about a whole other tier of patriotically loud, colorful explosions in the night skies to a bunch of professionally staged 4th of July fireworks shows. After a day at one of the best beaches in LA, cooling off with the city's best ice cream and grilling with friends and family cap things off with a bang. From the Long Beach waterfront to Hollywood, here's where to see 4th of July fireworks this year. Um, so the best places to see the 4th of July fireworks, right? So we have the Rose Bowl. We got the Rose Bowl. Um, okay. America Fest at the Rose Bowl is an explosive celebration of all things red, white, and blue, and easily the biggest show in LA. The fireworks typically don't shoot off until 9 p.m., but the Rose Bowl opens its gates hours earlier on Independence Day, usually starting with kid-friendly carnival fun, followed by in stadium stunt-filled program. Parking for the event will cost a whopping $45 in advance. But you can make it worth your while with an afternoon of tailgating outside the stadium. If you don't want to venture into the stadium, the show is viewable from the areas around the Arroyo, most easily accessible along the Colorado Street. And the Rose Bowl Stadium is located at 1001 Rose Bowl Drive, Los Angeles, California. And you can check out their website, which is rosebowlstadium.com/events details 204, the 95th annual America Fest. And like I said, it is going to cost you $45. So, you know what I'm saying? Um and Maria Del Day, I think I did I do that one? No, I didn't. Okay. There's something about watching fireworks over the ocean every year in Marina Del Rey. Fireworks explode over the Marina Channel, and spectators gather all over to watch at Burton Chase Park or Fisherman's Village, as well as from Marina Mothers Beach, waterfront hotels and restaurants, and on boats. Fireworks start at 9 p.m. and usually last for about 20 minutes. Arrive early to the area's county lots. Fisherman's Village, located at um, 13737 Fiji Way, Los Angeles, California, 90292. Price is free. You can visit the website www.visitmarinadelrey.com/events/4th of July 4th fireworks Marina Del Rey. Let's see. Is there any more? Wait. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So many. Damn. All right. Hang on a second. I know there's more. Yeah, Burbank. I did mention Burbank. I'm sorry about that. I did mention Burbank. All right. All right. We're gonna get to. Wait a second. Wait. All right. Let's do this. Hold on. 233. All right. All right. Let's win this. All right. So, ringing another year of independence in the Grand Ole USA with Steve Martin and Martin Short, the Hollywood Bowl proudly hosts its annual 4th of July party, complete with a dazzling fireworks finale. Grab your tickets early. Seats in the nosebleed section go for less than the price of parking, or consider springing for front section tickets. It is America's birthday after all. And of course, Hollywood Bowl is located at 2301 North Highland Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90068. And you can check out their website, www.hollywoodbowl.com/events performances. And I think and you can go to their website to actually check out some information and ticket pricing. And Hollywood Forever Cemetery. I think I did this already, didn't I? I think I did this one, but in case, yeah, I think I did this one already. I did this one already. Let's see, Grand Park. Okay, so all right. If you are on the hunt of a cheap, lively way to celebrate Uncle Sam, shake it over to Grand Park and watch downtown LA light up for free. The 4th of July, Grand Park hosts a unique block party featuring scrumptious food truck fare and 2 stages of live music. Um, the tunes begin while the sun is still high in the sky, so bring yourself an all-day picnic. No booze allowed, only empty water bottles, and relax. Best of all, the event is metro accessible via the Civic Center. Um, Grand, hold on. Grand Park Station. Uh, though $9 parking is also available at the Music Center and Walt Disney Concert Hall. Look out for the fireworks after 9 p.m. on the north side of the park at the Music Center, fired off from the roof of the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion. Grand Park's located at 210 West Temple Street, Los Angeles, California, and it's free. Grand Park, you can go to the website for more information, grandparkler.org/event/Grand Park's 4th of July block party. Yes, it's a free event. Let's see. All right, we got Long Beach. I think I did this. I don't know if I did this one, but anyway, the Queen Mary isn't quite ready for a partake in the fireworks show again. Well, actually, I did this one already. I think I did this one already. Yeah, I did this one already. Yes, I did this one already. Let's go to another place. So the Palisades. I think I did this one already. Okay, Dodger Stadium. Dodger Stadium. Here we go. Dodger Stadium, otherwise known as Chavez Ravine, has been home to the Dodgers since 1962, making it the third oldest ballpark in Major League Baseball. Even so, it's one of the nicest ballparks in the country. While there, make sure to try a local favorite, the Doya dog, loaded with chili, nacho cheese, tomatoes, onions, and jalapenos. And it's located and Dodger Stadium. Yes, Dodger Stadium is located on 1000 Vince Scully Avenue, Los Angeles, California, 90012. Of course, you can actually um, contact at 323-224-1507. You can also check out their website, losangeles.dodgers.mlb.com. Tickets are $4, between $4 to $130. Parking is $15. Okay. All right. So we have another. I did Burbank already. So we got one more here. We got one more here, and then I'll get to the rest of New York. If you are not familiar with the Dignity Health Sports Park, formerly the Stub Hub Center, it's time to amp up your Galaxy fan HUD. Brimming the brimming with blue and gold face paint, um, vuvuzelas and diehard soccer fans. This 27,000 seat arena often plays host to LA Galaxy home games, international friendlies, championship events, and more soccer infused happenings, plus the LA Chargers until their new football stadium opens in 2020, or already happened already. But beyond knee pads and goalposts, this Carson venue holds an epic outdoor stadium for major concerts and shows like KIIS FM's Wango Tango. Needless to say, um, Angelinos venturing to Carson are in for a downright great time. Um, so it's located at 18400 Avalon Boulevard, Carson, California. You could go to the website, which is www.dignityhealthsportspark.com. I'm not sure if it's free, but you could go to their website to find out. If, to find out though. So there you go, right there. So that's whoa. Wait a minute here. So things to do in California for the 4th of July. Oh gosh. Yeah. I'm just running out some stuff, man. Yeah, I'm gonna just run down some stuff, man. For real, for real. Let me just run down some shit. Southern California, all this stuff. Okay, so yeah, I already mentioned the America Fest. There's Bloomingfield's on July 4th extravaganza. Wait, I did El Segundo 4th of July. Okay, look, Grand Park's 4th of July bar party. I mentioned that. Um, I did mention all this stuff right there. If you listen, folks, for those of you that's living in wait, hold on. For those of you that's living in California, right? If you miss any of the places or whatever in terms of where you can watch the fireworks as far as the parade and all that other stuff, right? I think hold on a minute. I think you can actually um hang on a second. 241. All right. If you miss any particular announcements as far as where you can watch the fireworks, as far as parades, as far as like as far as the I didn't get to the parade part. Riverside County is also having a parade, which is Ronald Reagan Sports Park, 3085 Rancho Vista Road, Temecula, starting at 2 p.m. with the kids fun zone, food vendors, and music, ending with a fireworks show at 9 p.m. You could look up you could look up 22 things to do for for the 4th of July 2022 Southern California. You can go to the website www.ocregister.com/2022/0624 22 things to do on the 4th of July. That's www.ocregister.com, where you can find out the 22 things to do in Southern California for the 4th of July weekend. So there you go, right there. All right. I'm gonna go to the this other stuff that that I didn't get a chance to Okay. I think I left off on some New York stuff. I left off on some New York stuff though. Yeah. Where did I leave off though? Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, wait. Where did I leave off though? I'm sorry. Yes. With the Oh yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Let me start with Let me start with Let me start with number 7. I think it's either 7 or 8. I'm gonna just start right there. So 7 is for Nino, Brooklyn Bridge Park. Calling all pizza lovers from Nino in Brooklyn Bridge Park is the perfect place to watch the 4th of July fireworks if you want wood fired pizza at your fingertips with a stunning rooftop and terrace. The restaurant overlooks the East River with a menu structured as a historical investigation into pizza. There are also other menu favorites, including meatballs, Italian hero sandwiches, and fun cocktails. Be sure to make a reservation in advance for your party to get in on all the action. And it's located at Pier 6, Brooklyn Bridge Park, Brooklyn. And you can check out the website, which is fomnino.com. And the phone number is 718-422-1107. Number 8, on a boat cruise. Looking for a unique experience for the 4th of July this year? A fireworks cruise is one you'll never forget. For incredible views of the Statue of Liberty and Manhattan skyline, grab a life jacket and hop on a boat from Circle Line Cruises that will take you along with East River and right near the fireworks show. Check out the different holiday packages that are available on their website, circleline.com. And and you can contact them at 212-599-5585. Number 9, Marshall P. Johnson State Park. Marshall P. Johnson State Park is a 7-acre waterfront park located along the East River in Brooklyn, where you will find unobstructed views of the fireworks this 4th of July, formerly known as East River State Park. This space offers barbecues, a play area, and green space for a more secluded and calmer holiday. Um, you can easily spend the day here while waiting for the show to start and exploring the park's native plants, and that might just be your best bet for scoring a spot for your lawn chairs. Yes, so I suggest you actually let me see. Think there's any. I don't think they have a so you can go to the button that says explore Marshall P. Johnson State Park. I believe you can check that out for yourself. So you can actually get the best view of watching the fireworks and stuff. So there you go, right there. And number 10 is the Greens at Pier 17. Grab your friends and head to the at Pier 17. This fun and unique rooftop offers amazing East River and is located on the South Street Seaport. Guests can reserve a mini lawn that fits up to 8 people that is perfect for social distancing, or a spot at the restaurant's patio and bar area. The menu includes classic American fare and a drink menu with endless cocktail and beer options. Located at 89 South Street, and the website is thegreens.pier17ny.com. Phone number is 917-512-7540. Number 11, Hunters Point South Park. Long Island City is one of the best spots to watch the fireworks this year with the views of the East River, including the Empire State Building and Chrysler Building. There's plenty of comfortable areas to gather with family and friends, as well as a turf a turf field, children's playground, basketball courts, and a dog run. Take the ferry, subway, or drive to enjoy the 4th of July at this new and recently renovated park. And it's located at Center Boulevard, Long Island City, Queens, New York. And you could go to their website, which is hunterspointparks.org. Phone number is 212-639-9675. And of course, I didn't even get a chance. I didn't even know they had an Instagram. But anyway, number 12, the Water Club. Those in search of a lavish holiday celebration should make reservations at the Water Club in Manhattan for a set price. Guests can enjoy a top shelf open bar, buffet, live music and entertainment, and of course, spectacular views of the fireworks. Be sure to head over to the restaurant's website to book your table and choose between outdoor or indoor seating. And it's located at 500 East excuse me, 500 East 30th Street. And you can check out the website, thewaterclub.com. And the phone number is 212-683-3333. And make a reservation in advance. Very important. And number 13, WNYC Transmitter Park, a quaint waterfront destination. WNYC Transmitter Park in Brooklyn is the ideal spot to watch the fireworks with a waterfront um, esplanade pier, a large open lawn, a separate children's play area, and plenty of seating. Pack your beach blankets, coolers, and sunscreen, and plan to spend the day taking in all that the park has to offer. Since the Greenpoint Brooklyn Haven is an official viewing location for the show. In other words, show up early. Greenpoint Avenue, Brooklyn is the location, and the website is nycgovparks.org/parks/transmitter park, and the phone number is 212-639-9675. Explore NYC Transmitter Park. And of course finally, number 14, the Hoxton Williamsburg. Looking for a hip spot for a staycation. Yeah, staycation. With views of Manhattan from the rooftop and hotel rooms, and Williamsburg right at your doorstep. The Hoxton Williamsburg is the perfect place for a 4th of July staycation. Head to the hotel's rooftop restaurant, Laser Wolf, where you can dine on fine Israeli cuisine while watching the fireworks show. Location is 97 Width Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. And of course, the phone number is 718-215-7100. TheHoxton.com slash Williamsburg is the website to check out so you can book your stuff. I suggest you actually try to get to these locations that I just mentioned yesterday in episode 160 and today. Make sure you check out the website for more information. And as far as the pricing and all that other stuff, try to get there early so you can get a better spot so you can watch the fireworks so you can enjoy. So there you go right there. There you have it right there, man. And that's gonna do it, man. Listen, I'm about to skid out of here. So I'm about to go to stream choices on the go real quick. You like what you heard in today's episode or any other previous episodes whatsoever, man. And please show some love by following Off the Meat Rack Chainz New York podcast on Facebook and Instagram, alongside with Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast, and also Meticulous Vibes Podcast. And of course, follow me on the gram as well, which is G Money Stacks 555 in Queens, New York. Whatsoever, turn on your notifications for updates when the episodes are going to drop, and all the other good stuff's right there. So there you go, right there. And if you'd like to make a charitable donation to my Cash App for more support, it will be appreciated. Whatever amount, um, whatever amount you are comfortable with will be appreciated. So don't you worry about a thing. So anyway, um, now for audio streaming platforms where you can listen to the episodes of the podcast right here. So you can listen to Off the Meat Rack Chainz New York podcast on these streaming platforms right here, and you can leave a voice message on questions, um, ideas or whatever in the voice message right there and on anchor.fm/gmoneystack. So there you go right there. So Anchor, Audacity, Audible, or Audio Burst, Amazon Music, Breaker, Castbox FM, Deezer, Listen Notes, Moon FM, Podcast Player FM, Pocket Cast, Podbay, Podfriend, Podopolo, Podorama, Podcast Index, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Podverse, Reason FM, Spotify, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, and also you can listen to the New York podcast episodes on iHeartRadio alongside with Meticulous Values Podcast Review Show, Excellent Fun Vibrant Podcast Sports Edition Show. That's also on iHeartRadio. And of course, lastly, YouTube. Make sure you grab that subscribe button. Tap that noti bell so you can be reminded when the show goes in the air via live stream and the time it's going to start live streaming. Leave a like and a comment alongside with more video content, upcoming episodes, previous episodes, and of course, share the videos, share the episodes, download these episodes. Make sure you stream, make sure you listen and catch up on all the episodes. That's on every streaming platform whatsoever, including YouTube. Make sure you spread the word, tell a friend to another friend, and also share, rate, give a 5-star rating, and of course share the podcast with your friends, um, wives, husbands, boyfriends, girlfriends, friends, and the people you cool with whatsoever. And remember, the grind doesn't stop. Hard work pays off, and do what makes you happy mentally, physically, and spiritually. And of course, you only have a chance for you to actually follow your goals and dreams and what you want to do whatsoever. So um don't let anybody stop you from accomplishing your goals and dreams whatsoever. So I'm about to be out of here right now, man. I'm G Money Stacks. Thank you very much for listening and tuning in to rock with me. I'm off this shit. Peace and one love, and have a good night.